I watch him walk out of the shower, steam trailing behind him like a movie scene. The towel hangs low on his hips, water dripping from his abs, sculpted, firm, confident. This is not the man I married. This is a version of Logan I don't even recognize. A year ago, he would have begged me to stay in bed a little longer. He would have kissed me behind the ear, tangled his legs with mine, whispered something stupid and sweet about skipping work. Now, he barely glances at me. I could be invisible. He walks past me, no eye contact, no warmth, just a nod as he reaches for his shirt. His body language is so casual, so detached, that it cuts deeper than yelling ever could. And suddenly, I can't breathe. Because I know why he's like this. Or I think I do. Vegas. It was Jade's bachelorette party. Just 4 girls, cheap champagne, loud music, and a last-minute decision to fly out and celebrate freedom. I wasn't even supposed to go. Logan told me to have fun. His exact words were, "Let loose, babe. You deserve it." God, I wish he hadn't said that. One night. One stupid, reckless, guilt-soaked night. His name was Cameron. He was a bartender with a smile like trouble and the kind of attention I hadn't felt in years. I didn't plan it. I didn't even enjoy it. I just wanted, for one night, to feel desired. The moment it ended, I ran. Didn't tell Jade. Didn't tell anyone. I shoved it into a dark corner of my brain and convinced myself it didn't matter. Logan didn't know. He never suspected. We got back home. Life resumed. But something changed. Not right away. No. That would have been easier. It was slow. Subtle. Like watching a wall being built one brick at a time. First, it was the gym. Then the late nights working on some startup idea. Then the new clothes, the new haircut, the new energy. He was still Logan, but not mine anymore. Now he's everything I used to wish he'd become. And I'm terrified. Because maybe this is karma. Or maybe, God help me, he knows. And he's just waiting to destroy me the way I destroyed us. A year ago, our life wasn't bad. Just flat. Logan and I had been married 8 years. We had our routines, morning coffee, half-hearted kisses goodbye, dinner by 7, lights out by 10. It was the kind of marriage people call stable, which really just meant we didn't fight loud enough for the neighbors to hear. But we didn't laugh much either. Logan worked long hours in IT. He came home drained, always buried in his laptop or half asleep on the couch. I stopped trying to initiate anything romantic. I could barely get him to look up from his phone, let alone touch me. I didn't feel like a wife. I felt like a roommate. I tried to talk to him about it once, about us. He rubbed his temples, muttered something about stress, and promised it would get better after the next promotion. It didn't. So when Jade invited me to her bachelorette party in Vegas, I said yes before thinking it through. I told Logan it'd just be a quick weekend with the girls. He barely looked up. "Have fun," he said. "Let loose. You deserve it." I wish he hadn't said that. Vegas was loud, bright, buzzing. Jade had rented a suite, stocked it with booze, and lined up 3 nights of non-stop chaos. The first night was fun. The second night was blurry. The third was a mistake. Cameron was a bartender at our hotel's rooftop lounge. Tall, charming, with this cocky grin and a voice like velvet. He asked if I wanted a free drink. I should have said no. But I didn't. I wanted to feel seen. 1 drink turned into 2. Then dancing. Then his hand on my waist, then. I remember standing in the mirror of his hotel room afterward, mascara smudged, shame crawling up my throat like acid. I left while he was still asleep. I didn't tell Jade. I didn't tell anyone. I buried it. I came home, kissed Logan like nothing happened, did the laundry, cooked dinner. I convinced myself it was a moment of weakness, that one night couldn't erase everything we'd built. And for a while, things stayed the same. But then Logan changed. It started small. He joined a gym. Stopped eating junk. Bought new clothes. Then came the late nights, the sudden confidence, the shift in his voice. He smiled more, but never at me. He'd sit across the dinner table and feel miles away. I thought I was imagining it. Now I'm not so sure. Maybe he's just finally living. Or maybe he knows what I did. And he's punishing me without ever saying a word. It started with the gym. At first, I thought it was a phase, Logan trying to manage stress or work through something silently like he always did. But this time, it was different. He wasn't just hitting the treadmill and calling it a day. He was obsessed. Meal plans, supplements, personal trainers. His once soft body turned lean and strong. He looked good. Better than he had in years. Maybe ever. Then he quit his job. Just like that. Walked away from the company that had him chained to a laptop for a decade. I was stunned. He said he wanted to build something real, a fitness app with AI coaching and wearable integration. He found investors. Started getting media attention. Suddenly, Logan was this up-and-coming entrepreneur with buzz around his name. And women noticed. I saw them at events, lingering glances, laughing too loud at his jokes, brushing his arm as they passed. He never acknowledged them outright, but he didn't exactly shut it down either. He wore it, this new energy, like a second skin. Confident. Sharp. Focused. But not on me. At home, the air between us thickened. I tried to break it. Bought new lingerie. Waited in our bed one night, candles lit, heart racing like I was back in college. He came in, saw me, paused, and then sat on the edge of the bed. "Brie," he said, voice calm, almost gentle. "You don't have to do this." And just like that, he left the room. I lay there under dim candlelight, humiliated and hollow. The next day, I couldn't help myself. I went through his phone. I told myself I had a right to know. And that's when I saw her. Vanessa. Smiling in selfies with him at the gym. One photo of them laughing over coffee, his hand on her back. Nothing explicit. But it didn't need to be. The way he looked at her. It was the way he used to look at me. My chest tightened. I felt sick. I slammed the phone down and locked myself in the bathroom, staring at my reflection until I couldn't anymore. Later, I called Jade. My voice cracked before I could get the words out. "He's slipping away," I whispered. "And I think he's found someone." There was a pause. Then she said it. "You cheated, Brie. You opened the door." It hit like a slap. Because she was right. I'd set this all in motion. And now I was watching the life I once took for granted turn its back on me. I started trying again. Hard. I woke up early, did my hair, put on lipstick, even if I was just staying home. I cooked his favorite meals. Made the bed with hospital corners. I even started going to the gym, hoping he'd notice I was putting in effort too. He noticed, "All right. Thanks, Brie. I've got a meeting," he'd say, grabbing his protein shake before walking out the door. Every time he said my name, it felt like a reminder that I didn't know who I was to him anymore. The harder I tried, the colder he became. Not cruel. Not angry. Just detached. Like I was an echo from a life he had already moved on from, and he was too polite to shut the door completely. He seemed lighter, too. Like the weight that used to sit on his chest had been lifted. But it wasn't me who had done that for him. One night, I stood in the kitchen watching him laugh at something on his phone. He looked up and caught me staring. I didn't blink. "Are you seeing her?" I asked. His smile faded. He didn't look guilty. Just calm. He set his phone down and met my eyes. Would it matter if I was? I didn't answer. Because the truth was, yes, it would matter. But I had lost the right to say so. That night, I couldn't sleep. I sat on the floor of our bedroom, knees to my chest, scribbling in an old journal I hadn't touched since college. I wrote everything: the shame, the fear, the ache of being replaced, the cold silence in our home. I cried silently while he slept soundly on the other side of the bed, facing the wall. I started wondering, really wondering, if I ever loved him. Or if I just loved the security. The image. The way he made me feel wanted, before I stopped wanting myself. I used to think I cheated because I was drunk, lonely, and craving attention. But maybe, deep down, I was testing him. Hoping he'd chase me. Punish me. Prove I still mattered. And now that he finally could, he didn't need to. It happened over dinner. A quiet Tuesday night. I'd made chicken piccata from scratch, even lit a candle. He barely touched the plate. Just scrolled on his phone between sips of water. Something inside me snapped. I dropped my fork, leaned forward, and said it before I could stop myself. I cheated on you. A year ago. In Vegas. The words felt like blood in my mouth. He didn't flinch. Didn't blink. Just set his phone down slowly and looked at me. "I know," he said. I froze. My heart slammed against my ribs. "What?" He nodded, like we were discussing the weather. "I found out months ago. You left your phone open in the bathroom one night. I saw the messages between you and Jade." I couldn't speak. My tongue went dry. I tried to read his face, anger, sadness, disgust, but all I saw was peace. "A kind of finality. I thought you'd confront me," I said, voice cracking. "I almost did," he replied. "But then I realized, yelling at you, leaving you, even sleeping with someone else, it would have just made me the bad guy. And I didn't want that." He leaned back in his chair, eyes locked on mine. "I wanted you to feel it. What it's like to lose someone, slowly. To wake up every day and realize the version of the person you loved is gone, and there's nothing you can do to bring them back." Tears welled in my eyes, but I didn't wipe them. I didn't deserve to. He continued, voice calm but sharp. "Vanessa. No. I haven't touched her. But I could have. God knows she's been there. She listens. She laughs at my jokes. She sees me." His eyes darkened just slightly. "But I didn't want to be like you." Silence filled the space between us, heavier than any scream could have been. "I wanted to become the man you'd regret betraying," he said softly. "And now I am." The candle flickered between us like a dying heartbeat. I wanted to reach for him. Apologize. Beg. But I knew it wouldn't change anything. Because he wasn't trying to hurt me. He wasn't even angry anymore. He was done. The house feels different now. Not quieter, just emptier. Like something sacred has been ripped from the walls. I sit at the dining table alone, the chicken piccata still in the fridge from 2 nights ago, untouched. Logan hasn't come home. I don't know where he is. He stopped sharing his location weeks ago, but I never thought he'd actually disappear, not like this. Not after everything we've been through. Not after I confessed. But maybe that was the final thread holding us together, and I cut it myself. I unlock my phone, my thumb trembling slightly as I pull up his contact. I don't call. I know he won't answer. Instead, I record a voice message. I don't deserve forgiveness. I know that now. But I do still love you. Maybe I didn't show it when it mattered. Maybe I broke us. But I never stopped loving you. Even when I was lost. I press send. The screen blinks. Message delivered. No reply. Not that day. Not the next. 3 days later, a letter arrives in the mailbox. Legal-sized envelope. No return address. Divorce papers. I hold them in my hands like they're made of glass. Part of me wants to scream. Part of me wants to beg. But I just sit there. Numb. The only sound in the room is the slow ticking of the clock on the wall and the faint whir of the ceiling fan, like life is moving on, even if I'm not. A week later, I scroll through social media and stop on a tagged photo. Logan. On a beach somewhere. Wind in his hair. Sunlight hitting his face just right. And Vanessa, beside him, laughing, barefoot in the sand, the ocean behind them like a painting. He looks free. Happy in a way I hadn't seen in years. Maybe ever. I stare at the photo until my vision blurs. Voiceover, my voice, I once cheated out of emptiness. Now I'm empty, because I cheated. And that's the cruel symmetry of it all. I wanted attention. I wanted proof I still mattered. But in chasing that, I lost the one person who ever truly saw me. Now he sees someone else. And somehow, that was worse than rage.